Because why? Because the pronoun and bio crowd is losing it over a simple joke. And it's so funny to watch this all play out. And this is all because Hasan made a joke. All because Dr. Disrespect uninstalled Call of Duty, and he said that Doc was more...
No, this is all because these superstars on the internet have the most fragile egos of anyone I've met in my life. Every one of them. They don't know how to take criticism because they're not used to it. They have such positive affirmation all day to degrees that are not humanly healthy, right?
The pronouns and bio crowd are very unhappy because of course they are, because most of them are not mentally strong enough to deal with any type of criticism or
I love that. Fucking, there are no bigger snowflakes on this planet. And trust me, I interact with a lot of people, both online and offline now, because I'm a micro celebrity in politics. It's great. No bigger snowflakes than the fucking right. They want to be oppressed so badly. They do oppression simulators. They talk about how people who wear MAGA hats are the most oppressed. The unvaccinated are basically living worse than people did under the Holocaust. Look at us. Look how we suffer. Look at our suffrage. It's real. Meanwhile, people in the marginalized communities they hate, you know, people of color, LGBTQ plus folk, they've been called names their entire lives just for existing. Yeah, just by virtue of existing. Yep. Yeah, for non-passing trans people, listen to their stories about what it's like every single day when you go to anywhere. Where it's like, I wonder if this person's gonna misgender me right now. Oh, yep, there it is. Yep, there it is. That's definitely contributing to my gender dysphoria. That's not great, but happened again. Oh, and there it's happening again. This is just life. Meanwhile, it's like, they cannot handle anything. Can't handle a single name call, you know?
Jokes or memes or anything like that. And Dr. Disrespect has responded to Hasan fans, and he has mentioned pronouns and bio people, and they are melting down right before our very eyes.
Also, the bigots themselves, also massive snowflakes. What did Hasan say? He said the same joke everyone on the internet was making that same day. The Dr. Disrespect cares more about Nick Merckx than he does about saving his marriage or not cheating on his wife. He cares more about a Nick Merckx skin than he does not cheating on his wife. He's more loyal to Nick Merckx than he was to his own ex-wife. That was the joke. I saw it everywhere. I saw it all over corners of the internet. If that's your history and you're super famous, fucking rich as fuck, probably you're gonna get that joke made. It's gonna happen. You cheated on your wife publicly. You're a public figure. You cheated on your wife who's also a public figure. Everyone knows about it. That's just like blah, blah, blah. And just fucking the meltdown, the snowflakery right away. It's like, yeah, Hasan, I tell you, yeah, a bit of a loser. Yeah, a bit of a loser. Kind of a joker. Yeah, not a cool guy like he thinks, you know?
It's because of course they are. If you have pronouns in your bio, unironically, of course,
Dr. Disrespect
you
his
should
wife.
never be taken seriously. Nothing you say should ever be taken as anything other than a meme or a joke. That is just the reality of the situation. And you have Dr. Disrespect here responding to Hasan and his fan base, in only a way that Dr. Disrespect can.
Oh, shit.
And there's a lot of drama surrounding this.
All right, okay, yeah. So much preamble. Let's hear it. Does he go on a racist tirade again, or does he do something else?
I'll get into that here in just a minute, but let's watch Dr. Disrespect talk about Hasan fans right here.
I got no. My favorite content creator is Hasan. Even though he's fat and he's got weird looking structure of shoulders and he's unathletic.
There's a lot of things you can go after Hasan for. What he looks like isn't a really fertile ground, you know? I don't know how much you're gonna mine from that if you're going for insults. Hasan Piker is noticeably unattractive, you know? That Hasan Piker, certainly not known for sex appeal, am I right? Huh? Yeah, fat.
But he's really fat. He's my favorite content creator. I got nothing going on. I'm so depressed. I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm critical of everything except myself. I got he, him in my bio, and I look, Oh God.
It's so good because
I've said before, the bar is really low, you know? Like, I used to feel sorry for them. I used to be like, what the fuck does the right have? Crowder? That's what humor is. If you're a right winger, you got a fucking Crowder or Larry the Cable Guy. That's comedy. And it's like, no. Hey, bro, we got the Babylon Bee. They're occasionally not intolerable. We got Dr. Disrespect. He does a lot of cool sketches. Have you seen the one where he pretends to be a Chinese person, but rather than, like, you know, learn Mandarin or Cantonese, he just speaks in a bunch of really racist sounds, kind of like the stuff that, like, you know, they were doing back in the 50s and 60s that kind of we grew out of because we all recognized how racist it was. But he still does it. He makes all these sounds and then says that they're Chinese and then makes fun of actual Chinese people that he's gaming against because it's kind of racist and does the but it's funny though, right?
Because this video has 6.7 million views.
Oh, probably.
Because why? Because the pronoun and bio crowd is losing it over a simple joke. And it's so funny to watch this all play out. And this is all because Hasan made a joke. All because Dr. Disrespect uninstalled Call of Duty. And he said that Doc was more.
No, this is all because these fucking superstars on the internet have the most fragile egos of anyone I've met in my life. Every one of them. They don't know how to take criticism because they're not used to it. They have such positive affirmation all day to degrees that are not humanly healthy, right? I mean, you can mix that with a whole bunch of cultural shit as well. It's one of the reasons why you'll have people fucking like Colleen Barringer being like, hey, Colleen, you're credibly accused of grooming and abuse of children throughout your career. Well, you know what this calls for? A little bit of a song, because as you always know, I can do no wrong. I can do no wrong. Listen to my song. I can do no wrong. And you're like, this is unhinged. What? No, that's not what you're supposed to. You're supposed to actually, I don't know, maybe lawyer up and or address what you've done and then work towards restorative justice, towards undoing some of the damage. You have a monstrously huge platform. There are literally thousands, tens of thousands of children who adore and worship you. And you have your own Netflix show. I mean, I could probably expand that to millions of children without actually saying something factually incorrect. Probably shouldn't sing songs about how you're not a groomer. Don't diddle kids.
More faithful to Nick Merckx, his friend, than his wife. And it's because that is public knowledge that, you know.
Yes, and it was funny.
And Hasan are very, very mad, very upset.
XQC says the only reason why Hasan and Pokemon are talking shit is because they are scared the kick might succeed and they will not have their moral and ethics when Twitch shuts down. No, stop deflecting, all of you superstars. This is not. Is there a single superstar who will ever take accountability for their actions rather than always deflect and turn everything into a why me POV? Any of them? One? Like Kick at this point. Kick, if you didn't notice, by the way, Kick responded to the very fair call out that, hey, this entire thing exists as a platform to promote crypto gambling. That's why Kick exists. It's got the same founder as Kick. And hey, just like, you know, MGM has the MGM Grand to be able to bring in the Celine Dion's, well, Kick has the XQCs to bring into people to stake.com. And you're like, well, they don't always advertise. Yeah, yes, they do. In the third and the fifth slot on their front page in the corner, 2 of those streams are always promoting stake.com crypto gambling. However, when they were caught, they suddenly started to move that around. So now it's usually like the 4th one has it, or the 5th one has it, or like somewhere down. But lo and behold, Trainwrecks just came out to announce, hey, Kick has removed the ability, added the ability, I should say. Added the ability, if you do a check mark after making an account, you have to sign up to the website first, of course. But once you sign up and you make an account on kick.com, you can then go to your settings, and then under one of the privacy settings, you can choose to have both slot machines and hot tubs removed from kick.com. So problem solved. And it's like, okay, so does that mean you're going to stop crypto gambling promotion on the site on the front page? No. Does that mean people who by default go to kick.com will not be exposed to crypto gambling? No. Is it just a way to kind of cover up the smoke that they're getting right now? Because it really seems like kick.com has very deep pockets as a result of all the crypto gambling profits, and they're using it as a vessel to promote crypto gambling to an increasingly young audience? You know what? Why don't we say any criticism of any of this is people just not wanting competition to Twitch to succeed because they want a monopoly. They're actually deep in the pockets of Bezos. like literally, Bezos pays their salaries, makes Hasan a whole bunch of fucking money. That's what this is about. It's actually that they don't want competition. I would love legitimate competition, especially from a cooperative standpoint and model. I would support it immediately. Give me a cooperative model. Twitch alternative, yes, I will be on the record of supporting that. If it's cooperatively owned and people who make content can co-own the fucking site, sounds fucking awesome. And before you're like, Lance, start that. Hey, guess what? It costs millions and millions and millions of dollars I don't have to start a streaming service because of the web hosting costs. They're so expensive, it's prohibitively expensive, which is why there's not a lot of competition to it. Because even if you are a competition to Amazon, you probably have to use Amazon web hosting services to be able to compete with Amazon, thereby never really truly being able to functionally compete against Amazon, because Kick.com can make them fuck tons of money in the process while supposedly being their direct competition. So they know that, and because Kick.com knows that it's actually very expensive to do this, let alone spend hundreds of millions of dollars to recruit all of these massive names like XQC, there's gotta be an ROI. What's the ROI, you say? Well, it's promoting crypto gambling, of which they make a handsome fee. So much money there that they can afford to spend a whole bunch of money on a streaming alternative that may lose them money on that end. But holy fuck, if it can promote and bring people into crypto gambling and allow us to keep do crypto gambling streams online, because Twitch doesn't allow us to do that anymore. Twitch stopped it. They turned off the spigot, and then all of a sudden all these big streamers are like, well, I want to keep making hundreds of millions of dollars. Trainwreck says that he's made almost $300 million from his promotions with stake.com, which means that their ROI is probably fucking high. Really high. If you're spending $300 million on one human, on one streamer to promote, then you are getting numbers in return. You are looking at your numbers, looking at the parasocial relationship that Trainwreck has with his fans and his fans watch, and the addictiveness of gambling. And when his fans both combine their parasocial relationship with him, with his wins, because they forget the losses, but when the wins happen, they get all that dopamine and serotonin secondhand as if it was them who did it themselves because of the parasocial nature of streaming. And then all of a sudden they're like, fuck, I could do this. I could do this. Oh yes. And then we live in a world in which, yes, most people are struggling and a lot of young men want to know how they can make money. Well, hey, look what your favorite streamer is doing. You know, the guy who talks about Squad W and men's rights and talks about how men have it really hard and that we should talk about issues surrounding what dudes struggle with, which, by the way, is not incorrect. Dudes do have a fucking struggle in life. A lot of it has to do with the way patriarchy fucks with us. But hey, he's going to appeal to them, bring them in, and also let's all juice. It's all juice together. Come on, boys. You know, we're fucking big wins tonight, boys. As a community, big wins tonight. We're gonna go fucking hard. All right, boys. We're all doing this. By the way, don't gamble. Gambling's terrible. I always tell you this every fucking hour on the hour. I will tell you, never gamble, never do it. I'm a degenerate. I can afford to lose this money. Don't do what I do. Okay. Blah blah blah. Whew. All right, I'm clear. All right, boys. Let's do it. Big wins. Let's juice. Let's get some fucking juice on this shit. All right. I need to get a fucking big win tonight. We all do. All of us collectively, because this is an experience that we're all sharing together.
That Kick is a new platform that's getting a ton of traction. Someone
XQC shilling for Kick like this is exceptionally nasty, considering how open he's been about his problems with gambling addiction. Like I said, do we need to look no further than Slicker? I always mix those two people up, but Slicker, the one who has a massive gambling addiction, was a massive Twitch streamer and had actually begged almost every other major Twitch streamer for money so that he can continue his gambling addiction because it is so serious and severe, and he destroyed all his friendships and he lost his life and it all fell apart. And then all these big streamers, because it shed a really bad light on the realities of gambling addiction and how bad and serious they can be, all of a sudden we're like, well, don't worry, we'll cover all his losses, we'll pay all the people who lent him money, we'll pay them out, we'll cover it. You know, his mod who had cancer, we're gonna make sure that they can get treatment now. Everything's fine. Stop looking at the gambling as a problem, kind of thing. You know, sit back.
Like XQC, who has just signed a $100 million contract, and I kind of look at this a little bit like Elon Musk buying Twitter. Elon Musk buying Twitter. Twitter is a massively different platform than it was a year ago.
Yeah, it's utter and complete shit now. Good job, Elon. You've effectively fucking run Twitter into the ground. Now it's so bad that like he didn't pay his fucking Google hosting services when they switched over. That Google is obviously tethering. That's the first step, right? They're going to tether your network until you're willing to pay them the fees they're owed before they shut your network off. But for now, since it's tethering, Elon's like, well, here's a magic trick. It was all planned. So now we're going to limit, in order to benefit everyone, your ability to view posts to 600. So if you have a free account on Twitter, you can see 600 posts a day. and then at which point it'll be capped and you can't see anymore. It has nothing to do with me not paying my servers. And then if you pay money, you can see more than that. So if you pay to use our website, you can see, let's say, 10,000 posts a day. How's that sound? That's pretty cool, right? And we'll see how this goes. See if the site becomes unusable.
2 years ago, different conversations are happening.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of Nazis. It is. It's a bunch of Nazis and people who are basically just aghast at what is happening
now. People is going on.
And that scares them. Yep. Because if this shit fails and they pull the plug, all they will have is their moral and ethics in their hands.
Very rational
and fucking nothing else. And not a platform.
I don't know. I'm assuming that was, a love dono. It just sounds funny coming from a robot because it sounds sarcastic. Yeah, you sound very rational right now and level-headed, XQC.
To brag about it anymore. Empty hands, morals, and that should be enough for you. Morals and ethics should be what you care about, right? Not what it comes with. But it seems like these guys, they want to dip their fucking bread into the sauce, and they want to also eat it. And there's a chance they might not be able to do that if
Is that a French saying? I've never heard that one. Dip the bread into the sauce, but eat it. I've heard the have your cake and eat it too. But I like the bread one better because good dippings are actually quite nice when you have a freshly baked type of loaf, and then you get a nice little, oil vinaigrette or something with a focaccia, whatever it is, or maybe a nice gravy. I don't know. I'm digressing. No, that's not the reason, by the way. I'm like, again, I'm saying, I'm not going to speak for Hasan. He can speak for himself. He's incredibly famous and rich. But just, I'm saying from leftist point of view, the anger or the criticism of Kick is not because Kick is a viable alternative to Amazon and that this is actually going to upend capitalism in some way. Quite the opposite. It would be so foolish, and you'd have to fucking be swallowing so much Kool-Aid to believe that the reason Kick exists is because people want a streaming alternative to the monopoly of Amazon. Amazon is a fucking horrendous company. I'm never going to defend Amazon. And their treatment of workers is abysmal. Fucking unionize. Get some fucking worker power there. Twitch treats its content creators, especially smaller ones, like garbage. It does. The fact that smaller streamers who are affiliates can't make fucking minimum wage streaming on this platform is egregious. And yes, there is millions of small streamers who start and stop becoming streamers for that very reason. It's not a viable career path. I used to have courses where I would try to teach people how to teach lefties how to improve, and this was all free, by the way, I wasn't selling these, but I put these up on YouTube, youtube.com/TheSerfTV. They're still there. How to stream, how to create content, how to get your videos into the algorithm, how to be seen. Like, I was really being like, okay, I know these skills from trial and error. I'll impart them for free to other lefties, and we'll have more lefty content creators. Now I'm at a place where I'm like, I wouldn't recommend to a leftist who wants to get into fucking entertainment this pathway for a variety of reasons. You won't be treated with respect. It's going to be such a fucking grind that unless you are already very financially wealthy, it's not going to be financially fucking feasible for anyone to do. You are going to be treated like garbage, especially if you're a part of a marginalized community through the exposure online and just by virtue of being visibly indigenous or black or trans, and you are on the internet. People are going to fucking give you the worst mental health experiences of your life on a regular basis just by being a face-fronting public figure. In addition to that, the companies themselves are going to exploit you the entire way, and the margins are so small and thin that by the time you actually solidify enough to be able to like transition into doing it full-time, the dream job to pay your rent, you're both saddled with this incredibly massive toll of mental anxiety you never knew you would have. I couldn't ever predict how bad that could get. That obviously, like, it can be detrimental to certain creators, and that's why there is such a turnover. Have you ever wondered why there's so many people who disappear from streaming, and there's the same fucking 20 to 25 streamers in certain categories that are just, consistent, but meanwhile all these new people will come. There'll be a wave, maybe a wave of orbiters under one big streamer who are all like blah blah blah, and then all of them just trickle away and stop doing it because they don't make money, but they suffer a lot of mental abuse. And what's the point? Like, what's the point? There's other ways, if you really cared about like leftist activism, that you get into it that aren't going to be as aren't going to take nearly as much advantage of you as a person, and that won't destroy you mentally through the process. And it's like, that's how the whole thing has changed over the years, especially to me. Just seeing what it's done to fellow content creators, especially content creators of color, especially content creators who are openly LGBTQ+, seeing the mental toll it takes on them, seeing what they have to deal through, and then like why, like I used to be the guy who was the promotion. I used to be like, hey, at the end of every one of my videos, I'm going to tag on a smaller creator. If you want to be that smaller creator, just send something here and we'll promote you. I've promoted fucking tons and tons of people who are way more famous than me now over the years. And it's gotten to a point where it's like, it's so bad online. There's so much fucking fascist Nazi shit that would I really say someone who's like, hey Lance, I'm a baby lefty, I want to start making lefty streams, blah blah, what do you recommend? It would be like, ugh, honesty. Honesty at how fucking at how brutal the whole system is, you know? I watched The Leftist with 30 viewers and he had people hate watching him and clipping him. Yeah, of course, because you don't have the same protections, right? Like when you have a platform, like even me, I'm not the biggest streamer, but I've got a big ass platform. I've grown a very thick wall. So fucking when another big streamer comes at me, I can at least make a response that's going to have people in the other direction push back and be like, fuck that, you know, this person's lying and stuff like that. Smaller streamers don't have any of that. They don't have protections. They can't even write to fucking YouTube or Twitch about their problems. They just have to fucking take it as all these baddies circle around them constantly being like, oh, blah, 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 you're subhuman, you're blah, 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 you should unalive yourself, yeah, look at you. XQC stunned to see gambling ad on Twitch amid kick drama. Twitch has clamped down on gambling streams in the last year, but outright banning streamers for doing them from unregulated websites. This includes Stake, which is the backer of Kick. Gambling has always been a touchy subject for streamers, especially those who have taken deals with online casinos and gambling sites. And by the way, I'm not the person saying that we should eliminate gambling from society. I'm not the person being like, hey, by the way, none of you should ever gamble or you're sinful degenerates. No, if you enjoy games a chance, please, unless it's becoming a problem and recognize that as a problem, it's destroying aspects of your life or relationship or your finances, then yes, please stop. But if you want to play poker with your friends, fucking go play poker with your friends. Go have fun. You want to play blackjack with your friends, go play blackjack with your friends. If you want to do streams where you're playing blackjack with your friends, I'm not here to fucking police that shit. This is very different. These are Stake.com is a crypto gambling website that has very dubious legal fucking terms and conditions. Let's just be clear. They're in Curacao, so they can skirt a lot of the actual licensing regulations that other countries would provide for having a casino license. In addition to the fact that like there has been a lot of investigations into how they manipulate their AIs in order to not only keep people gambling for as long and as much as possible, but also taking advantage of them, because at the end of the day, there's no transparency. How do I know whether or not I'm actually like technically getting a fair hand in my roulette game? Is there any oversight? Is there a committee that looks after whether or not these games a chance are actually providing a fair, whatever they call fair? Like they're going to be open, they have to be. As a casino, the stakes are in our favor. That's how the house wins. That's our business model. Our business model is that we can win 55% of the time or whatever, and because of that we will be able to extract money from all of you. That's the casino. That's how the casino works. But is it beyond that too? Is it to an illegal degree where not only is it that we're telling you it's advantageous to us, but in addition to that, we're manipulating things behind the scenes and we control what these games do. You can't see it. And so, hey, what about extracting your money from these sites? Can you get your money out? Do you have $5 million in cryptocurrency in an account? Can you safely transfer that out? If you transfer that out, how long is it going to take to arrive? Is there going to be any dubious shit that's going on behind the scenes? Are politicians in countries getting potentially murdered in order to further the company and bottom line business of a place like Stake.com? All of this, very, very important stuff. Stake.com, again, is doing stuff on a scale that casinos can only do domestically. Vegas can bring you in to go see Celine Dion, but when you leave Vegas, you leave fucking Vegas. Stake.com is 24/7 globally. So yeah, certain countries like the United States don't allow you to use the site. Canada does though, so come to Canada, move here and do it. But either way, it's on a scale that we haven't seen before. It's utilizing technology that we didn't have in the past to be able to accomplish a lot of what it does. And Kick.com is the fucking theater. That's why it exists. It's the theater to be able to entertain you. You go see your favorite streamer. Watch XQC as he makes fun of Hasan. Watch Aiden Ross as he makes fun of Hasan. Watch fucking Andrew Tate as he's interviewed by Aiden Ross, and they both make fun of Hasan on Kick, you know? Guys, I'm not going to sit on Twitch overall because I don't give a shit about any of this. My take remains the same. I just think maybe perhaps it's time to accept the fact that it is what it is. As noticed, Twitch does not allow gambling content when it comes to regulated bookmakers and casinos, so it's not a massive change. One last thing about Geeks and Gamers, by the way, before we move. The whole reason I was even talking about them is Geeks and Gamers just got demonetized by YouTube. D-Day Cobra, hey YouTube, our channel was demonetized live and we're very confused, please help. Now I don't know if this is just a one-time, if it's a strike or if it's an off or if they've been completely demonetized. I can't say at this point. Obviously for a channel that peddles in hate like Geeks and Gamers does, Geeks and Gamers, if you look at their thumbnails, yeah, what do we got? Pokemon wrecked by Twitch CEO. Major failure. Flash labeled a disaster. Dr. Disrespect slams Hassan Piker. Call of Duty boycott. They are scared. Social justice. Whoa, look at that. It's the SJW. Flash disaster. Kick ended Twitch. Blah, blah, blah. Total chaos. Bud Light. Pathetic. Garth Brooks trashes country music fans over Bud Light boycott. Oh my god. They are over pride. Major flop. Little Mermaid box office disaster. Little Mermaid. Why is Little Mermaid drooling in this one? Why is Garth? This is the same drool, by the way. It's the same drool here as Garth Brooks is using here. They're both drooling when it comes to this. Another Disney box office disaster. Little Mermaid called out for fake audience ratings. Little Mermaid bombs internationally. Blah, blah, blah. Like you can tell just based on the thumbnails, the titles. This is a fucking. It's a far right pop culture hate YouTube review site. Everything is woke if it's black. Everything is woke if it's trans. Everything is woke if it's fucking civil rights. Everything is woke. Oh, the wokeness is destroying everything. So like it's one of those things where like Geeks and Gamers have been around and been prominent for so long that even fucking Zack Schneider called them out. They were doing some cross promo and Zack Schneider jumps into a fucking a webcam meeting with them and was like, yeah, we don't want to support you know, bigotry or anything like that. So yeah, we're out. So yeah, I mean, if YouTube's finally taking some accountability for these major fucking hate sites, that's good. I guess it's important.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
Thank you kindly to our Lord and Saviors Peyton L. Just and Xander Corvus. Without you, we are nothing. And now, a shout out to our Knights of the Square Table. Amazing Flesh, Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, DM Rivera, Doug Cady, Everything Important, Hegbard Celine, Izzy Solidarity, La Media Panza, Matthew Scarborough, Multimondi, Nettle, Omni, Peanut Butter Blonde, Political Papi, Quiet 185, Rachel K, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Kubi, Cernicus, Spinach Monster, Stellar Vision, Sebastian Demmel, Thomas, Trevbot EXE, Lucidry, Words Greenwood, Cheryl Alvarez, Tony Perkins, Thomas, O'Pecker, Travis McClinton, and Victoria Bell. Thank you so much. And a huge shout out to all the other people who make this entire show possible. Without you, it would not exist. If you can support us, please go to patreon.com/theserfs, and even $1 can help unlock all of the little goodies and help make this show entirely possible.